the land tax policies of the British. The British implemented the tax policies. What was the origin? How did it go about? How did it evolve into a superstructure today in the country? All these we will pay attention to in today's discussion. The East India Company had to pay 4 lakh pounds to the British government for its control over the Bengal province. The East India Company had been managing all the affairs. It had the permission, it had the clearance from the British government. So, what did the British government get in turn? In return, the East India Company has to pay the British government 4 lakh pounds every year for the rights that had been given to it. Now, as it has to pay to the British government, the East India Company should have the needed revenue. What is revenue? You have to get the money back. You have to get it. The coffers have to get filled up. The treasury has to be full. So it has to be managed. It has to be balanced. So the East India Company had always been thinking on the lines as to how it can get revenue. So the land tax policies proved to be an important method of earning taxation. Lord Cornwallis in 1793 he adopted the new land tax policy. So the land tax policy that he brought into effect opened the gates for a steady generation of revenue annually. What did they do? What is this new land tax policy? The British adopted many methods. Some 3 important methods we discuss in this lesson. The first one is permanent zamindari system adopted by Lord Cornwallis in the year 1793 to get a steady revenue generated. It's very simple to understand and digest. I said this is permanent zamindari system. The title itself tells us that zamindar is the landowner. Zamindar is the owner, he is the head. He is the instrumental person through whom the company would get the tax. Zamindar is the landowner. That's why we call it as zamindari system. Now zamindar was free to collect any amount of tax from people to whom he had allotted the farming job. So he was free to collect. He can charge any amount. He was the boss. Now he had to pay the agreed amount to the company on a set date. The zamindar, how much of land has been given under his possession, there will be a number of zamindars. The company would work out and say, annually you will pay us so much of amount on a set date. How would the zamindar collect it? It is left to him. He can charge the farmers any amount of tax and see that he collects. These zamindars were after making money On one hand, they had to pay what was due to the company, East India Company. On the other hand, they too had to earn. They wanted to earn wealth. So they started exploiting the farmers too. The life of farmers became miserable. The British were not concerned about it. The plight of the farmers was not a matter concerned to them. Let farmers die. Let them work day and night. They have to somehow get the money from the zamindar. The zamindars were the villains then. Farmers suffered a lot. A life of insecurity. We know drought, famine, natural disasters, calamities, all these come down heavily on the farmer and his produce gets affected. He will not be able to pay the zamindar whatever he has to. He has to request, he has to fall at his feet. But still, the zamindars may not be able to listen to anything. He may say, yes, this year I will take the farm back from you and give it to another person now, because you have failed to pay me. So the zamindars started exploiting the farmers. It was a life of insecurity. This system was extended to the eastern part of India, Bihar, Orissa, Andhra, and Varanasi. So this is the zamindari system, permanent zamindari system. Now let's see another system, the Mahalwari system. Mahal means taluk. So this is a system wherein the collection will be at the level of the taluk. But still the zamindars were there in the picture. So the tax was collected at the taluk level with the help of the zamindars. R.M. Bird and James Thompson implemented this system. But what happened here? See, the problem is the mindset doesn't change. The British wanted wealth. The British wanted to earn. They had come to India with a commercial purpose. They wanted more and more money. They were after money. So that desire prevails. The mindset of the British doesn't change. The company officials fixed heavy land taxes on the farmers. The zamindars had to collect huge amounts from the farmers and pass them on to the company at the taluka level. So in this system, the Mahalwari system, both zamindars and farmers, they suffered. Farmers had to pay heavily. Zamindars had to take up the responsibility of collecting the tax and passing it on. And these taxes which are collected were not uniform. They were all different from place to place. So no one was happy. Zamindars and farmers, as I said, they suffered. There's lot of corruption. So at one stage, Charles Metcalfe, a famous critic, he says, the Indian farmers were born in debt. Debt, D-E-B-T. Debt means sala. The Indian farmers are born in debt, lived in debt, and died in debt due to the land tax policies of the British. Please go deep into the statement put forth by the British critic Charles Metcalfe. That was the situation. those were the circumstances in which the Indian farmers lived. System was adopted in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi and Punjab. Now let us think of the third system that prevailed, Rayatwari system. Don't be under the impression that systems, they got adopted one after the other. Different systems were prevalent in different places. Ultimately, it was all an experimentation to earn more wealth by the British East India Company. Now, the third system what we speak of is the Rayatwari system. Alexander Reed, he adopted Rayatwari system in the year 1792. It was implemented in Madras and Mysore regions by Thomas Munro. What is special about this? The Rayat or the farmer was directly linked to the company in this system. The middleman who was there, Zamindar, he was removed. The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. Even today we say the same. The tiller, the one who plows the land, who sweats out, he should be the owner of the land. The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. But the taxes were very heavy. The owner of the land had to pay 50% of the produce as land tax. In certain places, it was more than that, even two-thirds. Two-thirds of the produce had to go to the British East India Company. The land tax had 30 years tenure. Once the contract was made with the farmer, that would continue for 30 years. But the British East India Company always reserved the right to cancel it and bring in another farmer. So the connectivity is between the farmer and the British. Rayatwari. Rayat means farmer. So farmer became the key person. But in this system too, there were a lot of loopholes which had not got covered. We did not have irrigation system. So farmers did not have the possibility of getting the rains at the right time as he grows. Rains used to fail. There used to be floods. There used to be droughts, natural calamities. These were all farmers' woes. What are woes? Debacles. His pains. Heavy land taxes he could not pay. The produce was not as much as the land tax that had been fixed. The produce was less in content. So what should he do? In case he doesn't pay land tax, then punitive action used to be there. Punitive action. He'll be punished. He'll be put in jail. He has to suffer. So the farmers were in such a tight spot that they were finding it very difficult to cope with. So they used to go for private loans. Again, where should they go? They have to go to the zamindars, people who have money, wealthy people, and they give loans at a very high interest rate. The farmer will not be able to comply with. So they were getting forced to sell their land. farmers grow, when they cannot cope up, when the produce is short of what they have to pay the East India Company, the only way that was left to them was to sell the land either to the zamindar or to somebody else, forgo what they had, and the situation was really pitiable. So, the three systems what we saw, they were all systems in the evolution towards the kind of tax system we have today. Today, our governments are all farmer-friendly governments. The legislature sits and discusses the problems that the farmers do suffer. The government comes to their help. Lot of money is being invested on irrigation systems. Farmers are trained. New technological systems are getting adopted. And we know that farmers are the backbone of this country, and we strive hard to see that they are made to lead a good life. But under the British, remember, the farmers' plight had been horrible. India had got struck by many droughts, famines, one after the other. Then lakhs of people died, and situation was highly condemnable.